So welcome everybody to this month's CTL Teaching with Technology webinar. Our topic today is my favorite Canvas tools. I'm Sam Inabnit in the center, and I will be the host for today. So just a few housekeeping items before we get started. And while I'm doing this, could everyone please in the chat just type in what department you're in and where you are joining us from today. So if you're at home, your office, Starbucks, wherever it might be. So if you have any sound problems, look for the audio button, or you can always access audio from the WebEx window audio menu. If you need to leave the session temporarily, in the emoticons menu, you can find a little coffee cup, which lets us know that you have stepped out. And finally, if you have any kind of support issues, technical issues during the session, please call WebEx's support. That number is 866-229-3239. And just a few quick guidelines. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and just raise your hand if you have a microphone and want to ask your question verbally. If not, feel free to ask your question in chat or type any comments that you would like to into chat. I will be monitoring the chat, and we'll stop periodically if there are questions there and ask those. And to let you know, we are recording today's session, and I will be posting the link and sending you a message about that probably on Monday. So moving right along. So I just want to briefly, very briefly, introduce our speakers today, and they, I'm sure, will be giving you a little bit bigger introduction. But first, we'll have Julie Cook from the University Writing Program, and then she'll be followed by Lanny Inabnit in the Department of Kinesiology. So I am going to turn things over to Julie, and let's all please welcome Julie Cook.
Okay, thank you, Sam. Let me just see if I can remember how to share. Okay, here we are. So as Sam has said, I'm Julie Cook. I'm with the University Writing Program. I primarily teach first-year introductory writing courses. And when Sam asked for us to pick our five, well, it was five, now three, favorite Canvas tools, rather than kind of gravitating towards the tools that I probably use the most frequently, I actually found that I selected tools that really have helped me kind of better understand and reinforce my teaching pedagogy. So I wanted to share that before we kind of got started with that. So on that note, the first thing I want to discuss is analytics. And you know, we hear analytics and we don't think the flashiest of tools. We tend to think kind of very copious amounts of numbers and data. But Canvas really does make this kind of data-driven material extremely accessible. And what I've found is that analytics can really serve a lot of functions for me in my class design and revision. So they do provide kind of a quick, at-a-glance view of class activity. They really allow me to be able to better observe where I'm seeing consistencies within the classroom, but also where am I seeing those anomalies, and provide really an easy method to generate some course and some individualized student data as well. So there's two types of analytics offered by Canvas, and those are either going to be whole course analytics or individual student analytics. So first I want to start with the whole course analytics. So if we go to the home page of any Canvas course here, Sandbox course for our purposes today, I'm actually just going to add analytics. This is actually the only way I know to do this for the whole course analytics, but you just add that to the URL, and you can see that you're given some generated very quick information about the course. So since this is a Sandbox course, there's not a lot here, but you can see that there's some very informing and useful categories. So we have kind of some activity by date here. We can see a graphic representation of features of assignments in the course, what was submitted, if it was on time or late, those types of things. We can also see a division of grades. There's none here, but I'll show you what that looks like in just a moment. And we have a quick look at individual student standings in the course. And if we look at our test students here, we can see that they're not doing too well in the course. So this might be where we would want to look at more individualized student analytics. So I'll show you how to access individual student analytics, and then we'll actually look at what does that look like, a real-life example of that. So if you go back to the course home so we can get to our primary navigation, then you will see the people in the left navigation. And here we can select on individual students. I've selected student 3. And so here we have the analytics for the student. We can select on the right navigation. Quick view there of what that can look like. But also we could go back and we can access the reports for the student. So in the report here, we can see what pages has the student looked at, what resources have been most helpful for the student, and so on. So to quickly show you what this looks like, again, a real-life example of this, I'm going to preview some screenshots that I made. I wanted to protect students' identities, but this is for a class of roughly 15 students. Okay, so in this first page, you can get a better idea of how you can easily spot some inconsistencies within the course, maybe what assignments have been more challenging than others, what activity has, by date, where the activities have been. On the next page, well, before we move to the next page, you can also see here where you're given the grade kind of median, you know, what the high and low was for individual assignments, just at a quick glance. On the next, got some weird sounds there. On this next page, you can see that this is an individual student's report. So here we can see what that individual student's activity is in, where they've been in communication within the course, and also what the assignment submissions have looked like. And in this last page, and this is one I found really helpful for me, I can kind of take some quick samplings of excuse me, sorry, I'm getting very strange sounds right now. So I can get some quick sampling of what have been the most useful and beneficial resources for students. And so that's really kind of helped inform me in my classes It gives me kind of an indication of what additional resources might be helpful for students. It's helped me to revise course content substantially. It's provided insights about what assignments and resources have really been most helpful for students and their success in the course. And it's also helped me to develop really more effective teaching strategies, especially as I'm starting to teach more online and hybrid or blended courses in the university. So the next tool that I want to discuss is Kaltura. And Kaltura is, I guess, a third-party platform. It's supported by Canvas, and it allows you to create and share video and screencasts. So to access Kaltura or your video content, you would do so kind of from your home screen here, and you would go to My Media. Now, important here, you would need to have your My Media activated. And so here, because I have My Media activated, I can see what I've already created. If I wanted to add something new, I would go to Add New over here, and I would be presented with some different options. I could create a video, or I could create just a screencast. Once you make that selection, if you've not already downloaded Kaltura, you'll be prompted to do so, and it's a very, very easy process. So nothing intimidating about it at all, actually. It's very quick and easy to work with. So I wanted to show you a little bit of how the Kaltura kind of looks and operates on Canvas. So here I have embedded two different types of videos that I have created. They're both screencasts. The one on the left here is more formal, on kind of a traditional presentation resource developed for the class. But while I'm talking about Kaltura, I'm actually going to have this other video kind of playing in the background. Sam's assured me that it will not be there will not be audio while it is playing, so hopefully that will be the case. Just so you can kind of see the screencast and why I've found this helpful. So I'm just going to select that. Make this a little bit larger here, and randomly click on some things here. So what you're looking at right now, oh, it is not letting me. Okay. So I've created, again, both screencast and videos with Kaltura. This one that's currently playing, this is one that I created to give students feedback on their work, and this has really been very helpful for me. I know that, like many other people in the university, they're having their students create more digital in more digital spaces, and so here, this student has created a digital article using a website builder, and with Screencast, I'm really able to go in and I'm able to navigate and highlight and give the student some very individualized feedback about all aspects. Instead of just the text, I can talk about the navigation, I can talk about the aesthetics, I can talk about anything that I can give feedback within this digital space. So that's been very helpful for me. And it really has supported really that multimodal learning experience for both the students and for myself, and those response strategies. So again, the one on the left is more of a presentation type feature for students, but I've also been able to create, just kind of those quick supplemental videos for students. So, if I have a student or two that's emailing me about a question, or I'm seeing that there's really seeming to be a challenge or some struggle around understanding a class concept, then I can create a quick, 2 or 3 minute video and add that as an additional resource for students. So Kaltura, I really cannot say enough good things about that as a tool. So last, I wanted to talk about rubrics, and if you would have told me that I would be promoting rubrics even 6 months ago, I would have probably laughed. But Canvas has really brought me around with rubrics because of the interface, because of the options, and because, again, I can really see it supporting for me more of my pedagogy. So what I like about them, and I kind of have bulleted here for you, is that they do, I've noticed they do keep me fair, and they help me to better understand really what's at value within an assignment, keeping those course goals and outcomes accountable even to the smaller work of the class, that bottom up and top down accountability, which is really important, especially with teaching a course where the material itself can be so subjective, like writing. It's made grading more transparent and accessible for students, and very important for me is it's left me with time to give individual and very substantive feedback to students. So I'm just going to show you what this looks like. Assignments created for students in Canvas. They have the assignment prompts here, but this would be the actual rubric that students are able to see. These are very easy to create and edit and maintain, and then transfer into other courses as well. You can see that you can have multiple categories with kind of subdomains even within those categories. And so students are really able to get a better sense of what it is that I'm going to be looking at, which I know that for many of you, you've been doing this for a while, but like I said, Canvas is what's brought me around at least to rubrics. If I go to Speedgrader, and I know that Lanny's going to be talking about Speedgrader more, so I'm not going to focus on that, but I want to show you what when I'm grading what the rubric looks like. So I would expand the rubric by just clicking on View Rubric. And here you will see that the categories will highlight as I'm going over them. So I can easily select where the student is at within this rubric. But then because I've already done a lot of that initial rubric category description legwork and point assignment, now I don't have to focus on doing what was often before I felt like a very kind of copy and paste type of feedback to students. Now I can, actually add some additional comments specific to those category descriptions to really meet that writer or that student where they're at within that assignment. So that's been a huge benefit for me to using rubrics, is being able to have the time to do that. So that I think that that's probably my time. So I will be turning it over to Lanny here.
Well, if you could just go ahead,
okay.
Julie, and stop your sharing.
Okay. Let me.
Just click on that green drop-down menu right above where your cursor is, where it says Viewing Julie Cook's Applications. Just push your cursor all the way up to the top of the screen, and that menu should. Okay. Okay, so thank you, Julie. There was one question maybe before we turn it over to Lanny. And that is, Amanda asks, I'm sorry if this was spoken already, but in the second video, are you saying that you can add in voiceover/comments within the video?
So, Amanda, I don't know if I understand completely your question, but if the question is, can you have audio within that screencast? Yes. If you were to, I guess, replay the screencast and do a screencast of the screencast in a very meta sense, I suppose you could do that, though I've not had to dub over again once I do a screencast.
Okay, great. And then there was this one last question before we give it to Lanny. Thank you for being patient, Lanny. And that is, oh, I'll answer it. So Amanda, you asked, how do you implement the rubric into your assignments? So the first thing you do is you create the assignment and make all of your assignment settings, and you save the assignment. And then when you go back to edit the assignment settings, you'll see a button where you can create the rubric right there in the assignment. So I can see that we are running a little bit behind, so I'd just like to say that I do want to give Lanny his full amount of time. So if you have to leave at 1 o'clock, please go ahead, we understand. But if you can hang with us, then you can hear and see about Lanny's favorite tools. So refasten your seatbelts, and I'm going to turn it over to Lanny. Give me a second here. And
all right.
All yours, Lanny.
Can everybody hear me okay? All right, so let me share my desktop. Get that pulled back up. All right. So, grab all my boxes back out. All right. So, what I wanted to go through, and I want to thank Julie because she introduced me to a couple new things. So that was fantastic. I was jotting notes feverishly because I love the rubric thing. So I really appreciate those topics. But what I wanted to talk about is really a couple important things that really resonate to me. To give you a little background, we teach completely online. So our program is 100% online. I teach in the respiratory therapy program. And so our challenge has always been to really produce a website, an LMS page that is really easy for our students across the spectrum. We have students that are first-time DE students. We have other students that have lots of DE experience. So it's kind of a unique spectrum. So what we try to do is make it as technologically easy for them as we can. So what I wanted to go through is just kind of an overview of what my page looks like. By no means is it perfect, but what I try to do in my home page is give the students accessibility and good connectivity to all the modules, to the assignments. And then I want to go through Speedgrader. I had Sam do some assignments. That's something that's really been fantastic for us in our grading. And then I want to finish up with embedding Word documents or PowerPoints into a content page and showing you really how that can work to give your students information. So just starting off, looking at my home page, what I tried to do was really give them direction, options to get to places. So obviously the breadcrumbs on the side are very easy for them to navigate, these navigational bars to get to the syllabus and modules and forums and assignments. But what we also did was I wanted to be able to link them to certain avenues. So following in a lot of the accreditation standards for distance education courses or quality matters type things, what they stress is putting your students off on the right foot. So what I created was a Getting Started module. So what I've asked them to do is click on this first. So if they click on this module first, what that does is take them to really what I want them to really see. I would put my syllabus here. This one doesn't have the syllabus uploaded, but I would put my syllabus first. I have them do a couple things, introduce themselves, do a syllabus quiz, and then what I've created, and I found very helpful, and this is really easy to do, and this can be done in numerous medias. This is actually done. I use Camtasia to do this, and then I just embedded it through Kaltura. But this is an orientation video, so I go through with them, and it's about 15 minutes. I go through with them the whole course, how to navigate, how to find assignments, how to do all these things. And this is something that's really easy to do. It embeds really nicely, and it's something that I give my students. So I wanted to show you how that looked on the home page, as well as linking them to important topics. So linking them to each module. We do synchronous sessions in our program where that stuff is. And then also hotline resource numbers. Sam said I can only talk about 3 things, but my 4th thing really quickly are these 2 things right here. These support helpline numbers have been invaluable to our program. Students in the past would call me with Moodle questions. I would try to fix them. I would send them to ITS. ITS would work with them. And it was such a long, tedious process. And what ended up being 9 times out of 10, it was a browser update. So they just didn't have the right browser update. Now what I do is I send them directly to Canvas. And I say, go to Canvas. This is our dedicated hotline number. A lot of times the students, Canvas tells them, hey, it's probably a browser update, or you need to use a different browser. It solves the problem in about literally 1/10 of the time before. And then with using WebEx as our synchronous delivery platform, the WebEx support hotline has been great. SamX obviously pointed you to that if you had questions today. These 2 things have been invaluable for us in helping our students be more connected. So I did want to point those 2 things out. And we put these on all of our home pages and all of our courses because we want that. We want our students to be able to do that. And then another great thing that I add to my homepage is the Student Canvas Guide. This is fantastic. You can search in it. It's a wonderful place for students to find things they need related to their course. So those are recommended things I would say to add to your resource list. And then I created my own WebEx resource list. CTL created a WebEx frequently asked or FAQ page, how to join a session, and then if they wanted to use an Android or a Windows-based phone, they could use that here accordingly. So that just tells them how to download WebEx. All right, so that was kind of the home page part of this, just trying to make it more personal. I think the challenge is, regardless if you teach seated or online, I think having a great landing spot for your students when they first log in is imperative because it's welcoming and it helps them, especially if they've never taken a course through an LMS. I think it's important. The next thing I wanted to talk about was the Speedgrader function. So I want to go through Speedgrader first. And I'll start off by saying that Speedgrader has cut my grading time in a third, easily a third. Before in Moodle, I would get a Word document, I would download it, I would grade on it, I would put all my changes, and I would re-upload it. So it took a lot of time, it took a lot of space. So now what I do is everything is through Speedgrader. So if you go on to the assignments, I apologize, this is in the grade book, and you notice that these are the 3 file submissions that I have for each of our students. So if I go here, click on Speedgrader, what that's going to pull me up is this menu, and this is just a document that I had Sam upload that we can mark all over. So this is the Word document. It's embedded here, and now what I can do is I can actually, I'm just going to move some of my panels out of the way so I can use some of the resources over here. Yeah, Sam makes a good point. You can, Android and Apple have Speedgrader function on your phone. But like, let's say I see an issue here. I can add a comment, and I can type, please use APA format, and I can then give them a link to an APA website. So, and then let's say this whole sentence needs to be fixed. I could strike that sentence out. Sometimes you just got to be careful with when you're grabbing things. It'll get, and then I could say, this is a run-on sentence and needs to be reworded. So we can go through that. You can highlight things. Maybe you really like this sentence. And there again, you have to kind of play with it as you go, but you can highlight certain things. Click on, and it lets you pick a highlighter color, which is really nice. You can draw on it, so I can say this is wrong. And then with your comments, you can do blocked comments, so you can block off a whole area. So maybe you've got a whole paragraph that this whole paragraph, not a complete paragraph. So lots of really cool tools to use. And then you can enter your grade here. So now this would be where you could have your rubric listed as well. So that's what I'm going to start doing since Julie taught me that. I'm going to start using rubric. But here you could say 8.5. And then I could say, please see comments on paper. And then I got to save those. So as I come down here, just got to move my bar down a little bit. I submit those. It timestamps it. Now the student could come in and say, and this is what I love the most about this. I want my students to do this more. They could say, thanks for your feedback. Could you send me the APA link again? And then that would be their name and timestamp. So we could start this comment thread of this. And Sam made a great point. They can download a PDF version of that. What I wanted to show you, and I'll be honest with you 100%, we didn't realize, we thought the students were seeing their comment easily, and we didn't realize they weren't. So one of our students, in her infinite kindness, created this document. So we actually send this to our students. But what the students can now see is they go to submission details, they go to view feedback, and then what they can see on this is the comments that were made, and then they can download an annotated PDF of that, like Sam said, which is fantastic. So what we're trying to do now, and our students aren't the best at this, is we're trying to get them to really utilize this a lot more, this feedback part. As we build papers, they can save these. It has our marking on it. So that's a really great function. I love it for the simple fact that I feel like I'm in the paper now. You know, they don't have to re-upload anything. They can see this. It's just a great way to give feedback. Some other tools up here for us faculty members that love to know we're accomplishing things. It tells us how many we've graded. It also has a running average. What I like about that is I teach multiple sections, so I like to I kind of get a mental note of what the average is for each section, and that helps me kind of know, okay, one section maybe I need to direct them more. They're missing a lot on citing. I need to help them with that. So that's a good functionality. If I go next, it's going to bring me the next assignment that needs graded. There again, I can do these comments. Something we haven't used, which I'm going to start playing with, is I can give media comments. So I could allow my camera, and I won't do mine because my camera's messed up now, but I could show my face and I could give visual feedback to my students, which I'm going to start doing in the spring. And then I could also do a record button where I'm giving them just audio feedback, and that will embed a file that they could open up. So I really feel like that's going to be something that we really use in the future as we move on through through utilizing all these services that Canvas has. So those are a couple things I wanted to show you about Speedgrader. There again, I really enjoy it. These buttons up here just kind of give you feedback as well. If you push the A+ button, it takes you back to the grade book. Sometimes if I'm wrapped, I'll go back to the grade book and do that accordingly. And then the other thing I wanted to show you was, so I do what's called online worksheets or quizzes, untimed quizzes. And you can see they automatically give you, as you take them, they give you an embedded score. What I like also is I can come in here and say, I can type a comment. So you really need to read chapter 4. So maybe they missed a lot of stuff on chapter 4. So even though this is a quiz submission, I can also give them feedback related to that. And that's what I love, that functionality of it. Because then if I'm doing these online worksheets and I'm seeing them missing similar questions, I'm still allowed to give that good feedback. And I really like that part of that. So I wanted to show you that. And then one more final thing, because I want to stay on time. Something that I really love, and this is the neatest thing, is embedding content in a content page. So this is my course. This is actually most of my course that I teach this semester. And what I do is PowerPoints. I embed PowerPoints, so many PowerPoints per module. A couple really neat functions in Canvas is you can easily download the file, and you can see it's going to download here. Or I can view this as a student and say, you know what? I don't want to necessarily download it, but I just want to view it. Sometimes it takes the dancing bear a little bit of time. But as you can see, I can preview this PowerPoint or Word document in this previewer screen. And maybe the student they just need to go to slide 10 and get some content from slide 10 as they're writing their paper. It's just a really quick way for them to get access to information. This is really simple, so what I wanted to show you was the ability to embed this, and it's really simple. So I go to Edit, and what I'm going to do is, let's say I'm going to embed a new file. There's a couple different ways you can do this. I do it this way, but there's other ways. Let's just say let's say Lecture 9. If I highlight this, I'm going to go over here to Files, and let's say I already have the file in the course files. So then if I open this, I can say, you know what, here's the file I want to upload. So I'm going to click on that. Once you see it go yellow, you know that it's been embedded. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come down here and I'm going to hit Save. Always make sure you hit Save. And now I've got this new document, so I can preview it. Or like I said before, I can click on these two icons to download it. So there's my new document in Lecture 9. All right? Also, what I wanted to show you is if I go to Edit, and let's say I don't have the file and I want to download it. If I go to Files and I go to Upload a new file, I choose a file. I can go to anywhere on my desktop. So let's say I'll go find something on my desktop. I got 100 different things on my desktop. So let's just pick that one. Okay, I've chosen a file. Sorry, I just got to get rid of my screens here. I'm going to click Upload, and there is the file as a PDF. So I uploaded a PDF, and now I can preview. I like preview so I know that I grabbed the right file. So before I send it out to the students, it's really nice because you can go back in and make sure that you uploaded the right file. So that's a really neat feature I wanted to show everybody. So this is really nice way to do it. I like it better than what Moodle did personally because I think it gives the students different options. Some of our students will print everything we put on the website. Some of them don't want to do that. They just want to view it. or maybe they just want to download it. So it gives them lots of options to see things in a different way, and I think that's really, really nice for students with different types of learning styles. So that was the 3 things I wanted to cover. I did want to try to get us back on time. So I appreciate the opportunity. I just want to say thank you, Julie, for opening my eyes to new things, and thank you, Sam and CTL, for this awesome opportunity. And I want to tell everybody, if you ever have questions, by no means am I the Moodle or the Canvas expert, but I love Canvas. I support it. I think it was a great move, and I'm happy to speak or talk to anybody that wants to learn how to use it more efficiently, because I think we could learn together for sure. So thank you.
Lanny, could you go ahead and end the sharing there for us?
Yep, I sure can. So I got to go in sharing. I always forget where that in sharing button is.
Well, I think you can just click on that that green little menu at the top of there you go.
I'm just going to I'll give you the icon back.
Okay, great. Well, thank you. So I would like to again thank both Julie and Lanny for sharing some excellent tools that they use. And what can I say? Thank you all for attending, and thank you for patiently letting us go over a few minutes. This was our last Teaching and Learning with Technology webinar of the semester, but look for us again in the spring. And I would just want to give everybody the opportunity to have a virtual dessert before we head out. So again, thank you all, and we will be posting a link to the playback of this on Monday. So thanks again, and have a great Thanksgiving.
Thanks. See everyone.